Hey everyone, it's Linda Rayner here. I am super excited to do this video. It's actually very different from what I normally do, and it's going to be an interview with one of my amazing clients. Her name is Jocelyn. She actually has worked with me through my Stand Out Get Hired program. She's seen amazing results. She actually ended up switching from a career in engineering science to now in finance. And she's also moved across the country to be able to find her new job as well in her dream location. So she's going to tell you more about it. Jocelyn, thank you so much for joining me here today.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Can you tell everyone sort of what's your professional background? What was your job before when you were first searching for a new position? What were you doing before and what are you doing now?
So basically, I start as an engineer. I do have 2 degrees in engineering, and so I've been working in more of the science and engineering field. But I've always been interested in the business side. Unfortunately, to make that switch was really super difficult because I did not have the title, and so it's really hard to grab people's attention. But I know I have the skill set. I know I can do very well in the business setting and finance. So after I start working with you, I was able to identify things that I can do to make my resume stand out to let people see my potential and my skill set to be able to do well in a totally different field. And so the result is the proof is that I do have my new job now in the finance role, and I'm super excited.
Just before we had started working together, can you share with us what your situation was? You said that you had been looking for a job for a while on your own. And how was that process? What was your situation during the time when you were looking for a job?
So it had been almost 10 years since I had to look for a new job, and then the landscaping, the environment have totally changed. That everybody now goes online to apply for job, and which I definitely did not have the experience. It used to be that you just send your resumes in or make phone calls or go to job fairs, but nowadays everything's applied online. And you're competing with thousands of resumes because they cannot see your faces. So what I did is I submit resumes everywhere online and without any results. It's not even a phone call, and I guess automatically reply say thank you, we got your resume. We'll contact you when there's a good match. So after about a few months of that, I got really discouraged because I know I have good skill set. I've done very well in my previous company. And so I started looking for other ways to improve my situation. I even hired a resume writing place that helped me write a resume and still with no results. So when I was looking for a career coach, I came across your website and I read your story and I look at your YouTube videos and I thought that, man, I think this person can help me out. So I contact you that way. After I started working with you, I realized that how wrong I was in terms of my job searching, the techniques that I was using. So after working with you with a few sections, I was able to update my resume. I was able to get in touch with the recruiters, and then I in touch with a real person versus just automatic response from the submission online. So that was quite encouraging. So after I worked with you, actually got like 3 job interview within the first month after I upload my resume and start using your technique. So and then my first interview was able to again work with you and got a good sense of how I should phrase my stories and phrase my experience to get their attention to make sure they understand that it is a good fit. I do have the skill set. And my first interview, I got a job.
Yay! That's awesome. So, because I couldn't remember the timeline. So it was in the first month, you got 3 interviews. So what was the exact timeline and steps from there?
So I guess we start working, I think July, August timeframe. So within that first month or two, I definitely got 3 interviews and phone interviews right away. And then I got in-person interview for this particular job 3 weeks after that, and I got a job offer within 2 weeks. So total, I would say about less than 3 months.
That's great. And then before we started working together, you said that you'd already been looking for about 6 months and you hadn't gotten really many interviews, right?
Right, it's actually longer than 6 months. I was looking at December the year before. So it's about 8 months before and before I found you.
I think people are curious because not a lot of people know about my Stand Out Get Hired program or really how it works. So, what did you find that you were able to really benefit from when you went through this whole process? What was kind of your aha moments? And you don't have to get into super crazy detail, just more so like, how you were thinking before versus how you now think about it when it comes to selling yourself.
Think the most important part is the techniques that you provide is very step by step, and that's very specific. Not just not like somebody would say, oh, you just need to have a good resume. You just submit your application to the process. Sometimes um, you know, trying to network your way in. So that's very general. That of course I know that I know how to do. I mean, I know those general comments, but I don't know the specific on how actually go about doing it. So you provide that specific guidance, and that's really easy for me to follow. And then I know that it is not obviously not the easiest thing ever because I have to compete with so many candidates out there, and they've never seen my face before. So so that kind of shows that your technique really worked for me. And then I was so super excited when I got an email or phone call from a live person that really wanted to interview me.
Yes, and that's awesome. I'm glad. So it was because it was very specific, and that's the strategy that I always use when I'm working with my clients, and especially with you, Jocelyn. Like you were so great to work with because as soon as I told you this is how you do it, you went ahead and you implemented it, and that's when you started to see results. And for you, it happened so quickly. We actually didn't even touch upon the fact that you were actually living somewhere else before you moved to this job, right? Like this job is in California, and you weren't living here.
I was actually living in East Coast, and it's totally different field too. I was more in the science and engineering field, and now I'm in a more finance field. So to be able to move the job function and even the industry and even the location, that I thought that was really impressive, and I thank you all the way.
Awesome. Well, actually, tell us a little bit more about that. That's something that I think a lot of people are wanting to do is people who are in certain types of industries, and you were in your industry, like you said, for 10 years, your science and sort of engineering field. So, and now you're in more finance. Did you find it difficult to switch to get into this new field, or is it a difficult transition? Like, how was that process?
Initially, it is definitely quite difficult because I wasn't sure in a different industry and different function what they were looking for. So again, that you provide really specific examples that I can really follow along, and that was just I again I just amazed about on the results, and then
So that's so great to hear. And, if there was someone out there who was thinking about working with me through my Stand Out Get Hired program, who would you say you would recommend this particular program for?
I would say that a person who really wants to make a change in his or her career, and then that was willing to take advice and actually work on it, and then it might be something totally out of what they were trained to do or what they were taught to do or what they know, and because it is different world out there, you really have to have a new strategy, and then to be able to work with somebody like you who understand the ins and outs of making careers transition or advancement, that really would help.
Awesome. And so, for example, like if someone called you and they said, why should I invest in working with a career coach when I could just do it on my own? What would you say to them in that sense? Because I think a lot of people think of it that way that, looking for a job, you should just be able to do it on your own instead of asking for help. But obviously, you made the investment in yourself and you sought help and it worked out perfectly for you. What would you tell these people?
Well, I always say that, hey, go ahead and try it. I mean, for me, I can tell them my experience. It took me uh, 7, 8 months before I realized I really need help. And I could have saved all that time. Could have been in this job longer earlier, but so it is definitely a investment worth making, and then because I see a good result, and then I was very happy about it.
Awesome. And like this is the thing is that, even though you're in a great job now, I mean, it's not like your career has ended and this is all there is. Now, moving forward, you've learned the strategies, the techniques on truly how to write a really strong resume, how to look for get interviews, how to do a really detailed job search, and also how to interview effectively. This is something that, would you say, now you feel confident that you can move forward in your career and be able to use the techniques you learned through this program and perhaps get your next level job later on?
Definitely, definitely. I'm always thinking about how to improve my resume, and especially now I'm gaining experience. I'm seeing results on what I do here. I can definitely use that same strategy or same technique that you have taught me, and to just update my resume, and hopefully I get promoted soon.
Yes, exactly. Okay, well, that's great, Jocelyn. I mean, thank you so much for sharing your story. Is there anything else that you want to add?
I just want to thank you for all the help you have given me, and even now I'm still doing coaching sessions with you because I realized that just because I moved to a new job doesn't mean, like you said, doesn't mean things stop here. I still have to a lot more things I can do to really improve my chance of getting promoted in a sooner rather than later.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the next phase is what we're working on right now, is making sure that, you can get promoted and really be recognized as that top performer, which you already are. It's just making sure that the people around you can see that. So, well, thank you so much, Jocelyn. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. And for any of you out there right now, ambitious professionals who are considering working with me through my Stand Out Get Hired program, if you are wanting to get the results similar to Jocelyn and many other clients that I've worked with, then head on over to my website. That's lindarainer.com/standoutgethired. You can follow the link in the description box. And from there, if you feel that you are wanting to move forward, then just fill out an application form. And if I think that we're a match, then I will reach out to you. Excuse me. I'll reach out to you and we'll take it from there. So thanks again, Jocelyn. I really appreciate it. Best of luck in your role moving forward in the next few months, and can't wait to see what comes up next for you.
Great, thank you very much.